What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another Steam Deck video, and we're taking a look at Overwatch 2 here, the Steam version, which launched August 10th here in 2023, so very recently at time of putting up this video, and I had to jump in and see how it's running here for the Steam version since we have tested this on Battle.net. I do have to mention the over 87,000 overwhelmingly negative reviews in just 2 days on this, as the community has been very unhappy with Overwatch since dropping 1, coming out with 2, and dropping a ton of content and just a lot of other things. I've stepped away from Overwatch myself, but I still do want to see how it's running on the deck. As far as compatibility, though, we did need to use Proton 811 or GE Proton 8-11 to get the game to launch and run properly. Other than that, no issues here. Running 4 gigs of VRAM, which I usually do. Though for this game, I think you could get away without it if you wanted to. As far as our settings, full screen, 800p, 1610, no dynamic render scale, and our graphic setting is just the medium preset, and I haven't changed anything from that. I figure it's a pretty good little sweet spot just to run the game that way. I don't need a lot of graphics, but I do want to hold 60 FPS with good frame time, so it works out well for me there. Now, I did try the PvE missions. Now, I didn't buy the pack or the expansion you need to unlock all of these, but there is an event mission you can jump into called Underworld. That's up for a little while, so I jumped into that to see how the performance of like some of the PvE was feeling here at these medium settings, and it was super smooth. I saw a couple of 59 FPS like here and there, very, very rarely. Other than that, super smooth 60 FPS with good frame times. We're not hitting the CPU too hard. We're not taxing the GPU. We're not pushing anything too hard there. There's plenty of overhead. We're getting decent battery life this way. So a nice 60 FPS experience, very clean here on Steam Deck for the Steam version of Overwatch 2. It's really a shame what's happened to this game since they really came out with this and made all the changes and everything, because honestly the performance is fantastic for these handhelds and could be a great PvE and PvP game on the go with like the Ally and the Steam Deck and whatnot. But yeah, everyone's pretty upset with Overwatch 2. Now, getting into multiplayer, of course, we had to check that out. I jumped into a few maps and tried a couple different characters and just wanted to see if I could find any hiccups or problems or what that performance was like. And it was just as good, if not better, than the PvE that I was playing in that mission. Everything feels great. Now, I'm using the Steam Deck controller, which is odd for me because I always play this game with mouse and keyboard, but the way I was recording here, I was just using the Dex controller. Now, to its benefit, the Dex controller felt great and works great here for Overwatch, but I would much prefer be on my mouse and keyboard, but no problems with the controller working, even the trackpads or whatever I wanted with that. And again, with these settings and 4 gigs of VRAM and that type of thing, everything just ran very stable, very clean, and we're not eating up our resources, we're not killing our battery. I wasn't really creating excessive heat. Most of the time I was in the 70s, the upper 70s, maybe lower 80s for a lot of this. So everything held up really, really well here for Overwatch 2 on the Steam Deck. So again, like I said, it's kind of a shame of what's really happened to this game. I hope they can turn it around and maybe get some of the parts of the community that have been really upset with this to kind of come back around. I know they have a lot of work to do for that, but I used to be a big Overwatch player and fan back on the original Overwatch years ago. It was a game I was very hyped about. A lot of us were when it was first coming out, and I did spend a lot of time with that. And I honestly haven't been happy myself at all either since they took that game away and changed it to Overwatch 2, and with everything they have done with that, just kind of has had me shy away from the game as well. But I keep my eye on it, and we'll see what they do with that. But that said, if you're into Overwatch 2, if this is something you're having a lot of fun with, it's running great here on the Steam Deck. It seems like a great game for PvP, PvE on the handhelds, and I'm happy to see it running so well. And without having to use the Battle.net launcher, that just kind of made things a lot easier. It does work that way through the Battle.net launcher still, but it wasn't quite as clean running as it is here on the Steam version. So happy to see that, especially with using that GE Proton compatibility 8-11. Alright guys, thanks a lot for coming and check out the video. As always, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.